Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting session. This is Tobit Tom, one of the crypto journalists back here at Coin Edition. So today we have May Mahboob. She is the co-founder and the president of MBD Financial, and she defines herself as the Metaverse Warrior and continues to revolutionize the industry. So before we start with the actual question, I'm still doubtful about this. The Metaverse Warrior, like I didn't quite understand that. Why do you define yourself as the Metaverse Warrior?
It's so funny that you say that, because it's a name that I came up with. I'm always constantly challenging anything and everything when someone says something. So I always joke and say I'm usually always right because I fact checked everything. So Metaverse Warrior came about because there's so many individuals that still don't quite believe in the metaverse. What is the metaverse? Metaverse has existed for many, many years. It's gamification. It's an environment where it's live and it continues to go on, whether you leave the game or you leave the environment. So if you look at Roblox, Fortnite, games that have existed on Xbox. So I constantly I feel like I have to voice my opinion and constantly debate with individuals. So I started saying, I guess I'm the Metaverse Warrior.
I think you are the Metaverse Warrior because again, after researching about you, I was looking through all your experiences and I'm like, whoa, this is like amazing. Like again, it was inspiring for me, like someone who started from the communication field is now literally using communication to motivate the people about the metaverse industry, and that is like amazing. So let's say if I'm going to hang out with my friends and I'm trying to explain to them what is metaverse, like could you help me, like how exactly should I explain it to them, what is metaverse and how it's going to change the world?
Absolutely. One of the best ways that I explain to everyone what the metaverse is, it's an environment where individuals are able to connect together. So one of the differences that we're doing now versus what it used to be before, like I kind of mentioned, most of the games that continue to live on, that you can't pause. If you can communicate with someone else, putting a headset on and get together with your friends and continue to play, that becomes a metaverse. It's an environment where everybody comes together. The difference now is that we're adding in a lot of real world utilities versus just a game, right? Before it was digital assets still, but you were able to purchase digital assets and be able to use it in that environment. Now they connect to something in the real world as well. So when you look at, I have a 7-year-old son, Alec, and he plays Roblox nonstop. He's been playing Roblox Minecraft for the last, since he was 4. And one of the things, even last night, we was joking, I wanted him to do something right before he was finishing up his game. And I told him, can you just pause it and go get me this? He said, May, I can't pause it. It's not a game. It's live. So if you ever were to explain it to a 7-year-old who understands, like, it's like your metaverse. So I always, it's coming from a 7-year-old who explains what the metaverse is. You can't pause it. It continues to go on with you or without you.
And that's so awesome. Again, as years pass on by, we always see different types of changes. So how do you see the Web3 evolving over the next few years?
Of course, one of the things that I usually say that one of the areas that I think it's really important for people to understand is Web3 solutions, digital innovation, and kind of taking in decentralized applications. So when people say, what is really decentralized, it's the data that belongs to you. It's not collected, it's not used, it's not stored. You have control over your full data. You have control over your finances. I think it's going to evolve in a completely new way. It becomes the new new set of internet, as you like to say it. We're transitioning, when you look at it you're probably too young for this, but transitioning from just basic internet or computers and going from dial-up to Wi-Fi, it was a huge movement. And we see this as the second bridge of that movement, where where individuals are able to control what the information that they have, how they store it, financial solutions, digital currency. It's evolving in a really mass way where it brings unity, it brings more interoperability, and it brings people together.
How do you balance the need for innovation and experimentation with the need to maintain the stability and consistency for your users and stakeholders?
Yeah, the need is always going to be there, right? So one of the main things that we want to see is, especially with our solution, what we're building is a photorealistic business district in the metaverse. So a huge focus on, how do we create mass adoption through bringing Web2 solutions into the Web3 space. And three things to keep in mind is keeping it accessible, affordable, and having an autonomous platform. I think what's really important is, how do we save time? Time is the most valuable problem that every business, every organization wants to solve. If I can give you an extra 10 minutes to your day, then that becomes the ultimate solution. Why not, right? Bringing simplicity into all of this. So when we're looking at it, well, how do we bring that stability and consistency? It's having a clear roadmap and creating that specific foundation that all projects should create. We didn't just start off with an idea and a vision and just launch a token and do all of this. We wanted to make sure that regardless of whether you're a Web3 project or Web2 brick and mortar or actual software organization, that we had a foundation built and proper use cases and a proper roadmap, a proper executable vision, keeping it user-centric approach. So keeping UI in mind, whether it's a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, a general 30-year-old, or a 60-year-old. If my mom is utilizing this solution, that they understand what they're using and it's easily adoptable, right? We're keeping it the one thing that people don't realize that's so important is not to launch everything all at once. Even for us, we're not just launching the metaverse all at once. It's a gradual approach. It's gradual upgrades. So doing it in phases is quite important for user adoption to happen. So those are some of the things I think, whether it's us, whether it's our project or any new project in this space, I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Right. So let's say I'm an innovator and I'm planning to bring some new innovations into this industry. So how do I identify like the demand or the need of those users? Like, how do I know the market?
Yeah, so as innovation, I think it's really important to compare it to what the current solutions are out there, right? So look at what you're building and look at what is it most comparable to that currently is already there. So it's almost like the best way to explain it is you're making the same. I'm going to relate it to food. I'm a big foodie. So you're making the same dish, but you're adding a twist to it. So when you think about it, like I'm making Italian, it's a twist of like Italian mixed with French, right? So it's you're adding new spices, you're adding different things to create a version of it that's better. So that's similarly to what you should be doing, looking at the use cases that are currently there and what is the problem that I'm solving, or adding that twist to benefit the mass consumers for that adoption to happen.
Okay. So as you know, we have already reached that stage of Web3. Like people are talking, and that word is already identified by the massive community. Like they know what is Web3. I mean, some of them actually. I'm not sure if it's already reached the widespread adoption. But how do you see the current state of the Web3 adoption? Like, is it good? Is it bad? Or how has it been so far?
I think it's stagnant.
Okay.
You hear a lot of hype about it.
Mm.
And I go to a lot of conferences, speak at a lot of conferences, and I do my mass research. And this is where I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. Um, Being in Web3, I think it's stagnant because one, this innovation
Mm.
is increasing at an exponential state. I
Mm.
think we need to slow down.
Okay.
And because of the fact that we're still tapping into the same pool of consumers,
Mm.
the same individuals, just a different product that's coming out every other day.
Yeah.
When you think about even the market in general, the ups and downs of the market, well, every other NFT project that comes out, you're still tapping into the
Mm.
same, the way our world economy is right now. These individuals that are already in the space, you're
Mm.
still tapping into the same user base. So I think a big shift in us as individuals, and there's many projects that are doing that, don't get me wrong, but things that we need to consider as we increase innovation is slow down and allow the rest of the world that we want to bring on board to catch up to
Yeah.
technology and
Yeah.
innovation. It's going to come to a point where people are going to start doubting it, and it's
Mm.
too much.
Yeah.
It becomes overwhelming for the
Mm.
general public. So it's really important for us builders to take that into
Mm.
consideration for mass adoption to happen.
Okay, so what is the ideal way, like if someone is starting a project, what is the ideal way to go about it? Like how do you slowly accelerate the Web3 adoption to the community?
Yeah. Again, besides just tying it into real world use
Mm.
cases, I think three things that this wasn't a huge, as our projects evolved from what it initially
Mm.
was in so many new ways. And pretty recently, I've realized as we're doing our pricing model, our revenue model for solutions that have launched, three things that I realize is so important that isn't quite there. I feel like one, affordability. So when it comes to affordability, we're creating a lot of solutions. And if you look at the price points for all of these solutions that are out there, you're an NFT project and you need to have the airdrop solution. You have to have a marketplace. You have to have NFT creators, builders. You have to have content creation
Yeah.
for marketing. You have to have so many different things. And each platform has a subscription model. And I was checking out at one of those booths at a conference, and one of the projects they airdrop to the users and give you AI analytics. And I asked them, well, what is the cost?
Mm-hmm.
And the starter package was $1,500 a month. And that's just for airdrop and being able to have your AI analytics. Then you have your percentage. For it to be affordable, not just for your holders, but for the projects, founders as well. Not everybody's we're not going to have more individuals kind of get into the market if they don't have the funds to be able to do it. So affordability is very, very important and crucial. People are making up their own prices. It's the wild, wild west. You
Yeah.
really don't know what to compare it to, right?
Mm.
The next is accessibility. Keeping it affordable will provide that accessibility to the masses. I think that's really important.
So how do you envision the future of Web3 and NFT technologies over the next 5 years?
Absolutely. I think everything will become NFTs.
Okay.
Whether it's which we're already seeing, right? Plane
Mm.
tickets, movie tickets, ticketing, it will all everything will be on chain. That's just a movement that we're going through. We have a huge focus for our project to transition everything or leverage NFTs for creating digital twins of actual products, services, ways to monetize, create new revenue models. That's why we're focusing on businesses, which ultimately also helps consumers, creating an ecosystem that's self-sustainable. And one of the ways that we see doing this is so important, especially with the leveraging NFTs, is it provides that accessibility, right? So you could be located any part of the world and still be able to target your consumers or your holders or your community halfway across the world. So when you see a lot of these projects leveraging NFTs, it's transparency, it's having that clear data that's accessible by anyone, having it on chain, right? So it creates that, it cuts out the middleman between everyone, and it allows the consumers or the users or holders to directly interact with the actual solution.
What exactly is NFT, and what is the purpose, and what is the technology behind it?
I love this question because I was at a MIT event, and someone asked me there, because I was talking about NFTs, and someone asked me the same thing. How can you explain NFTs? And the best way to explain it is NFTs eventually will not have a cost. It's going to be almost a digital identification, right? So when you look at your iPhone, from where it was to where it's evolved, every other person has an iPhone currently, right? iOS users are much higher than Android. And when the wallet feature came around, I compare it to the US. There's certain organizations that you're a member of, whether it's Sephora in the beauty industry, it's Sephora, or H&M, you have your point system. Everybody puts their information in, and you get a digital card that you can store in your wallet to achieve your points. That is so your digital card that you receive is your NFT. The points that you receive, because you're going to that, you're part of that community, or you go to that store and you buy these products, the points that you receive, which in return you redeem for whether it's $5 off or an actual free product or coffee at Starbucks, that's your utility. Right. That's all NFT is. And the difference between NFTs and having that membership is that when you put your email in and your purchase history is there, that's all data that's being collected by that organization and is resold to other organizations, right? So they send you all of those emails with product information, and you have to physically unsubscribe. With the NFT, you control all of your data. You're not putting your information into anyone's system to be able for others to monetize and share, because they make money when they sell your data.
What are the biggest challenges or barriers to entry, the individuals might face when they're getting involved with the Web3 space?
I think one of the things that I say is, barriers to entry is being too complex, right? Accessibility, and understanding what the solution actually is. So what's going to be very, very important as well is the onboarding process. I think we suck in this industry with onboarding. There are certain projects that have improved quite a bit, but we need to put a huge focus on the onboarding process for the masses. How do we provide that information, relay that information back to those individuals? Or how do we provide the wow factor that allows that individual to transition into this space? It's a little complex, and we're doing a lot better with the user experience. It's like, download a wallet, you have to convert all of these crypto into this, crypto to be on this chain. It's like, so I think interoperability and cross-chain and bridging, security is getting a lot better. This will eventually, I say that mass adoption isn't going to happen anytime within the next year, but let's say a couple of years, once we have everything kind of streamlined and allow that onboarding process to be simple, it's going to be in mass adoption.
Right. So what role do you see MBD Financials playing in creating a more equitable and just kind of global economy?
Yeah. So, me personally, between myself and my business partner, when we started this, like I mentioned, it's evolved quite a bit. I'm very involved in social impact space. I was originally born in Bangladesh. My parents
Yeah.
relocated here when I was very young. And I have another, so when I had a lot of opportunities in the US while growing up, and I still go back to visit family. I have another business. I was in the brick and mortar industry most of my career. So I have another business, Lush Cosmetics. I took it to Singapore, started it there from scratch. And they're one of the biggest brands in regards to how to utilize ethical sourcing of ingredients and helping other communities. So I'm involved in a lot of social impact around education, especially for women and children, microfinance. How can we support and bring a lot of these solutions and resources to individuals across the globe, especially in developing countries? I don't think governments have enough resources for, like, when you look at Bangladesh, one of the most populated countries in the world, and a lot of the neighboring countries, you just look at the wealth, but there are individuals that can't break out of the cycle of inherited poverty. And blockchain solutions allows us to do that. So with MBD, what we're creating, even though we're focusing on businesses, we're adding gamification, and it's not just our solutions. We want to bring all of these fragmented world together all under one platform. It's an all-in-one solution. And by leveraging businesses, we're creating a rewarding ecosystem that's inclusive for all. So people would be able to learn and be able to earn reward structures, just like I kind of mentioned, these points, which will be MBD gems, and they can trade it in for actual products and services as a reward structure to these businesses. So for someone that, wouldn't ever imagine being able to have clothes from actual retailers, or some of the basic necessities, food, shelter, they could trade in the gems at the local grocery store we're partnered in for actual groceries. I think we're going to become a platform where anyone and everyone has the opportunity to be able to create their own financial ecosystem. And even by learning, imagine someone from halfway across the world, they have so many different skill sets. They're learning more skill sets, and they'll be able to work for any organization and be able to earn just as much as someone within the US versus someone halfway across the world with the same talent. So individuals will be able to break even, especially for me, with my passion. I see it as a way for someone halfway across the world to get the same opportunity as I did and make something of themselves. Who knows, we might even, with not just on our platform, but with this type of inclusivity, we might even find someone that has the mindset or has the intelligence to create the next cure for cancer, or the next evolution of any type of genomics, or whatever you want to call it.
Could you explain some other initiative or programs that MBD Financial has implemented, that's going to promote social impact and sustainability?
Yeah, so that's, of course, the GEM program in itself is a huge one for us. The next one that we have created is being able to, one, leverage other projects, other solutions within our platform to bring that ultimate solution, right? So how do we provide, when we look at a one-stop shop, how can we really provide that ultimate solution all under one platform? It's by empowering other projects, other innovations to be able to leverage our community and our platform. But I think one of the main things that we are focused on is our GEM program and is our partnership globally with other organizations, especially around educational platforms as well. Because I think, when you look at, for example, Alchemy University, they have converted their blockchain adoption solution. So where it's like a 7-week boot camp, and you can learn to code smart contracts and various others. So I think providing solutions such as that and creating an earning model where you're earning to be able to learn and then in return use it for actual goods and services onto a platform is going to be huge. I think it's going to help not just the economy in itself, because they're going to come back, right? It brings brand loyalty, brand engagement, but at the same time, it's going to empower individuals to achieve things that they previously could not.
Yeah. So, like, what is the long-term vision for MBD Financials platform? Like, where do you guys see the platform in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so we're building it out in phases. And one of the, of course, our first phase is we've recently launched our AI cross-chain NFT marketplace with the aggregator. The goal is to become almost, imagine Amazon meets Blur, OpenSea, analytics, all merged into one platform. So whether you are a Web2 project or e-commerce or service industry, anyone looking to monetize can go on there and be able to open a shop, create digital twins of products and services, and sell it there, and be able to start creating a community. Another solution that we've and of course that product is also going to continue to build. Next, we just also launched our content creation platform. One of the main things that I feel, we have AI, Chat GPT, and things like that, but I think prompting is quite hard. So we've launched Chat MBD, where it curates a lot of the content for you. So whether you don't know what NFT utility or the verbiage that you need with the best marketing solution, it creates the content. It will create white papers. It'll create business models. You could create, what's the best utility for your NFT you're going to launch. You can actually generate AI generated NFTs and then launch a full project seamlessly. That's the autonomy piece of it, right? Simplicity for Web2 users. So we've launched that. Then we'll integrate phase 2 is DeFi solution. Phase 3 is actual pieces of real estate that ties into virtual real estate, or stores that are there could have virtual spaces there, AR, VR integration. And then, then we're looking at fully launching the business district and the metaverse where people could engage. You walk down NFT Boulevard, it's all NFT solutions. You go to the education street and it's all educational platform. So having a district that empowers that financial solutions, that a lot of what you're able to build your financial ecosystem with.
Right. So thank you so much, Mahboob, for this insightful and enlightening session. I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure the viewers out there understood a lot about this industry. And so I, along with my team in Coin Edition, would like to wish all the best for your future endeavors and for your project. And also, it was quite inspiring talking to you, for me personally. So I learned a lot. Definitely, I learned a lot. And thank you so much again, giving us the opportunity to do.